Welcome back to Stack and Strength, guys. I'm your host, John, and today this is a quick one, and I just want to share some thoughts around because there's a lot of noise in the market right now. I just want to share my quick thoughts at why getting any amount of Bitcoin is essential for yourself and for your next generations. That is, if you are a millennial, a Gen Z, or alpha or beta, starts saving your pocket money and stuff like that. But yes, why we are still so early. I'm going to share my screen. I have this excellent page to share. It is a web page by the name of Bitbo, and it's got these great tools. But I want to just share some examples of what I'm trying to say. So, what you are saying, this is the page of Bitbo, and I'm just going to show you certain things, certain indicators, right? And I'll explain what I'm trying to show here. So this screen here is the price of Satoshis per dollar. Satoshis are the fractions of a Bitcoin. So every Bitcoin, one Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis or sats. And this is the price chart of sats per dollar from 2014, just slightly before 2014 until 2026, right? Now, if I take my cursor here, you'll see. So somewhere around 2013, early 2013, you would get 7,363,770 Satoshis for $1. 3 million sats, right? For a dollar. Now, obviously, you could see the graph trending downwards, and now we go all the way back, all the way here on 2026. It's not exactly to the day, but I think it's around very close. You get 1,046 sats per dollar from 7.3 million to 1,000 sats. What I'm trying to say is the purchasing power of the dollar. And please keep in mind, this is in US dollars. So for all Aussie viewers, this is obviously a much higher number than that. But the point is that every year, the purchasing power of the Australian dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar, Indian rupee goes down. And your Bitcoin is appreciating against it. And that's what I'm trying to show you. Now, I'll give you another different context, which probably will make a bit more sense to you. This is the median house pricing, US based house pricing in Bitcoin. And the chart that you see here is starting here, and we are at 2011. 20 need 588 Bitcoins. It's not sats, Bitcoins. 39,000 Bitcoins to buy a house that is under 500K. Yes, so 339,146 BTC. And here in 2015, you needed 1,221 Bitcoins to buy the same house. In 2018, it's 31 Bitcoin. In 2020, it is 21, 7.91. We come here 2024, 6.309282. And all the way down to 4.16 as of quarter two of 2025. Bitcoin, 4.16 Bitcoin. In a span of 14 years, from 2011 to 2025, the price of a median house in the US has fallen down from 339,146 Bitcoin to 4 Bitcoin. What that means is this is the purchasing power of the dollar that you're losing each year against Bitcoin. Every asset which you think is the asset, in this case it's real estate, will fall against Bitcoin. It will lose its value against Bitcoin. It could be real estate, collectibles, cars, bonds, equities, doesn't matter, gold, silver, everything. Because there's never been in the history of mankind that we have been introduced to an asset that is finite and scarce and is limited by math and code. Fundamentally, nothing can happen to the code because they have tried, people have tried, corporations have tried, but nothing. Governments have tried to stop it, but they have failed multiple times, and now they have started to integrate it with the system. Leading giants or lobbyists of the world, such as BlackRock, banking leader like JP Morgan, Chase, everyone is incorporating Bitcoin onto the balance sheets. They're telling their clients that you should have some kind of exposure to Bitcoin on your in your portfolio. Vanguard, you name it. Trump's setting up a Bitcoin strategic reserve. His son is actually has a whole full-blown mining farm, Bitcoin mining farm in Texas. Nation states are accumulating Bitcoin, and it just you don't see it because this all happens on OTC. It does not happen on exchanges. Otherwise, if this kind of movement starts happening on exchanges, it will hit the price really hard. So it happens OTC, which is over the counter, and that is why the pricing does not fluctuate that rapid. But it will, because at one point of time, the sellers will run out of Bitcoin that could be sold on OTC desks as well. So what's going to happen? They will have to come out and buy Bitcoins that are available on exchanges, and from those guys who are willing to sell those Bitcoins, right? And that is exactly when all of a sudden you would see the price go vertical. It will shoot up vertical. It would not happen overnight, but whenever it will happen, it will be a vertical lineup. The Kingdom of Bhutan is an excellent example. Bhutan has been silently mining Bitcoin. I don't know exactly how many years, but many years. And they have a huge stack of Bitcoin, right? And they've been using their natural energy reserves to mine it, and they have been really successful at it. Countries like even Venezuela, after the U.S. captured their leader, they have around 600,000 something Bitcoin with them. Iran, recent example of Iran, the collapse of the Iranian currency, right? That is a prime example. What happened overnight was people who stored their wealth in their fiat currency, in their local currency, lost all their life savings. But all the people who had some kind of money saved in Bitcoin are in safe haven. The Iranian rial went up in billions in compared to if you ratio it with Bitcoin. So one Bitcoin was equal to like billions of reals, right? That is what is called a currency collapse. And it's not the first time that we're seeing this. We've seen this in many nations before: Lebanon, Zimbabwe, Argentina, and it will come to you as well. It may take a bit more time than Western countries may take a bit more time than other nation states, but every country's currency is deemed to collapse. The sooner you are aware of this, the sooner you get to know that it's better for yourself, your family, your next generation, and their generation. You want to save your time and energy in an asset that is appreciating, that does not lose its value, that cannot be confiscated by a government or an entity, that cannot be taken over by someone, and that does not require anyone else's permission for you to send it over anywhere across the world. Coin is liquid 24/7. There is no bank that operates 24/7, right? The incorruptible, open source, transparent code that is available for us. I find the finiteness of Bitcoin makes it have no ceiling per ceiling in terms of the dollar valuation. What I mean by that is, right now today it is around just under 90,000 US dollars, or around 130 odd thousand Australian dollars, because we are still functioning in the country's currencies. Like, I'm in Australia, so the Australian dollar is in use. In US, the US dollar is in use. Till the time the dollars would be used as a unit of account, Bitcoin has no upper ceiling. right? At some point in time, down the line, a few years down the line, $100,000 would become rounding error for Bitcoin. What that means is, a few years ago, $10,000 was whenever $10,000 was the peak, for example, we can check here, right? So $10,000, $10,000 when it peaked for $10,000 and people said, oh my God, it's too late now, right? And then it went 50 and 100. It will go on and so forth, right? It will keep on going high because the value of the dollar is going down. And till the time that does not change, when BTC can go to infinite level of pricing. It has the capacity to acquire the entire $900 trillion dollar market share. So yes, we are very early. This is another thing interesting when I saw that eggs priced in Bitcoin. So this is a similar chart like we saw for the house. Eggs, a tray of eggs, right? So what is this? January 1st of 2011. And we have, so it's in sats, 51 sats for an average price for large eggs, grade A large eggs. Just to give you some context, that is 6.18 Bitcoin. Or, 6 Bitcoin. Over 6 Bitcoin you needed to get some eggs in 2011. Fast forward today, 2026, you need 3,016 sats. Flee calculate, that's just around, I would say, so in 10 Australian dollars, you get around 7,000. So just around like $5 or $6, Aussie dollars. So yeah. So it's obviously not a tray as such, but it's probably like grade A logics. I don't know how many number of eggs, but you can get an idea what I'm trying to say. That is not the context of what exactly how many eggs we're receiving. The point is that whether it's a tray or a couple of eggs, that's not the point. The point is, in a span of 14 years, this is how much we have lost the value of the dollars, right? For those who would like to save their hard earned time and energy, you would want to do it in an asset which appreciates over time and which you could provide to your children or your grandchildren as inheritance. If it's under $90,000, so let's say US or Australian $130,000, you can get 0.1 Bitcoin for 9,000, right? Or 13,000. 0.01 for 900 or 1,300. The point is not the amount what you're getting, right? That depends on everyone's appetite. You can get whatever you can afford to get. The point is getting off zero, whether you have 0.1, whether you have 1, whether you have 10, whether you put 0.01, 0.001, 0.0001, it doesn't matter. What I mean to say is that priced in BTC, priced in Bitcoin, one day, this house example that we saw, yeah, from this point of time, right, when you needed this 339,000 BTC for a $500,000 median house, 2025, you needed 4. 2030 or 2035, you probably need like 0.5. I mean, I cannot give you a number because nobody knows the future. What I'm trying to say is looking at that graph, you probably need 1, right? 0.5. 5 years later, you'll need 0.1, and then it will be 0.01, 0.001, and so forth, because your dollar is losing its value. The dollar has lost 95% of its purchasing power since 1971, the US dollar. The Australian dollar has lost 50% of its value since the last 5 years. That's how bad it is. You go for buying groceries, you realize that how much expensive things are. And people don't understand why it's happening. They just say, oh my God, everything's so expensive. It's inflation. But nobody understands what that really means. Not nobody, but many people do not understand what that means. So take that understanding, study Bitcoin. Don't jump into it. Study it, read books, listen to podcasts, listen to people who are giving information, join communities where their information is provided, and do your due diligence. And the best way to go about it is to not take a rash decision and jump in with big amounts, because it's a volatile asset. If you jump in with money at the top, and then if Bitcoin goes down, let's say 60%, 70%, you would be in a lot of stress, right? So study it, understand it. Do not buy it for the sake of, oh, I'm going to sell it the moment it doubles up. No, you only want to do it if you are prepared to hold it for the long term, right? And that is the blessing of an asset that is finite. So you want to hold it for the long term, and you want to preferably DCA. DCA means dollar cost average. What that means is every week or every day or every fortnight or every month, you buy the same amount of Bitcoin. So regardless of the price, whether the price is at 90,000, 100,000, 60,000, 125,000, you still buy the same dollar value. What that will do is it will average out your total cost over time, and also take out the emotion out of the equation, whether you're buying the top or buying the bottom, right? And there are many ways to do it. I personally like the Amber app. The Amber app is an Australian app. It's built by Australian Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's a very smooth and clean app with a very beautiful interface. The team is extremely supportive and very prompt in responding to your queries. Very simple. Once you log in, you set up your account, connect your bank, set the rules up, how much Bitcoin you want to buy on what time frame. That's it. Get the ball rolling, right? And you will see over there how many sats you are getting. And if you decide to go that route, don't forget to put the code MatthewJ4. I'll put the link in the video description. You will get $1 worth of free sats. So that's a lot of sats just for signing up. When you do the first $100 transaction, whenever you do that, you will get $21 free sats. And so, guys, this was a very quick one, just to make you understand what kind of setup we're in. We are very early, so there will be a lot of noise in the background saying, oh man, oh, this going down, it's going to 58K, 60K, 70K. Oh my God, Bitcoin. Oh, China's going to ban Bitcoin. Oh, Trump's not putting the reserve. Doesn't matter. Nobody controls Bitcoin. Nobody controls Bitcoin. No one has the power of Bitcoin, because if they would have had any, they would have shut it down by now, because this is actually against their own ethos. They never want you to have Bitcoin. They want you to buy ETFs. They want you to buy their ETFs, pay them money so they can hold your Bitcoin in their custody, because they know Bitcoin is a power that if people get Bitcoin, they will get the freedom and the independence that the governments don't want you to have. It's as easy as it is. They do not want your well here, right? How much ever they can put out in the media, oh, this is for your welfare and stuff. No, they don't care about that, right? So if you decide to buy Bitcoin ever, I'm a big proponent of self-custody. Make sure you self-custody your Bitcoin. What that means is move it from the exchange that you're buying the Bitcoin and move it into your personal cold wallet. A wallet that does not touch the internet, that is secure. You hold the private keys of it. When you leave your Bitcoins on an exchange, the exchange owns the keys. You do not have control of it, right? So yes, I will make more videos about that to explain that and further. I will even also considering opening up a school community where a community where there'll be loads of information for you guys, for those who are not at all in touch with the space. They can come and read articles and meet fellow tribe members who can actually share information and help each other. Wait for that coming soon. But I just wanted to come out and pass on this quick message. So thank you guys. And as always, the motto of our channel: stack sats regularly, build strength daily, and own your life. Do not procrastinate. This is the time to do it. You have a few years right now left to do this, to accumulate as many sats. I say around some 5 to 15 years. Do as much as you could. Your future generations will thank you for this. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, John, and signing off from Stack and Strength. See you soon.